sad to say, but a lot of the time we are propelled by pain. Our motivations to do things or not to do things are motivated by pain. I know this is low level. I know ideally we want to come from a place of love and passion, but realistically, a lot of the time we do things because we want to avoid pain. We don't want to go back to behaviors that cause us suffering. We don't want to lose our loved ones. We don't want to cause pain to our loved ones. We don't want to feel alone. We don't want to feel lonely. We don't want to feel this anxiety we have all day, this anxiety of waking up. We don't want to feel these negative emotions. Ideally, of course, we should do things out of love. We should do things because we're passionate. We have this fire within us. We want to improve our lives because we come from a place of love and compassion and wanting to spread that to others. Of course, this is ideal. This is what we want. But honestly speaking, my journey did not start there. It did not start because I loved myself. Not at all. I did not love myself up until very recently. Let me tell you a story, actually. A few years ago, I was in a relationship, an on and off relationship. It was very codependent, toxic, can slap all the labels on it. While I was very passionate at the same time, it was one of those get back together, break up, get back together, break up. And I wasn't getting better. I lived with the pain of wanting to be a better boyfriend, of wanting to be a better son. I lived with the pain of doing the bare minimum. Maybe to the outside world, it seemed like I had it together. I was going to school, I was working, I had a girlfriend. It looked like I was doing okay. My career was going to pay well. It's always going to be around. However, I knew within myself, within my being, that I wasn't living to my potential. I wasn't living my passion. I wasn't living my purpose. I was flaccid. As a man, I was flaccid. And I could feel it. I resented it. I felt so weak. Things I wanted to start, things I was passionate about, I was too scared to start. I was too scared of failure. I had an extremely anxious attachment style. I was living with a bunch of trauma. I was very immature. I didn't take responsibility for myself. On the outside, it looked like I had a decent life. I was living an okay life. But deep down, I knew I was making excuses. I was making excuses for why I didn't start things. Nobody would know, though. Nobody would know but me. Maybe my ex-girlfriend at the time. Maybe she sensed that there was a hole within me, that I wasn't fired up, that I wasn't the strong, dominant man, that I didn't have that in me. She'd see flickers of it. She loved that part about me. But there was something about me that was just shut down, turned off. I didn't take care of myself. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't play sports. I've always been extremely passionate about moving my body. I've always been extremely passionate about martial arts, about sports, about all these athletic things. I'm a natural athlete my entire life. My body has excelled at these things, and I did none of them because my anxiety was so bad, because I couldn't start things. I was living an unsatisfying life, not aligned to my purpose, and I was okay with it. I played video games, I watched corn, even though I had a girlfriend. I did nothing with my time, with my spare time. I would just watch TV, watch Modern Family or anime or something else. I distracted myself. I drank, not much, but I did drink. I smoked weed occasionally, and I would hide the smoking from every girlfriend I ever had. Every girl I had, except for maybe one, would always forbid it, be angry at me for that. So I'd hide it. It made me want to do it more. I had that rebellious streak in me. I guess nobody likes to be told what to do, and even though it did nothing for me, I didn't like smoking weed. I still did it to numb myself until eventually I realized I didn't even like to do that. It didn't make me feel good. If my life hadn't drastically changed for the worst a few years ago. You see, the end of the year, 2019, my sister died. She passed away. She had cancer. And unexpectedly, she passed away. And the reason I bring this up because that moment, that event for me, became the thing that finally switched me on. And it's sad, it sucks. It sucks that it happened that way. I hate that it happened that way. But it's something I have to live with. It's something that I have to come to terms with. It's something I have to transform, transmute, and I have. Because this drive, this fire, this will within me, this self-love, everything that has came after that loss, after that pain, started from there. I told myself I could not live like this. To see the struggle of someone wanting to live so badly, and it fucking hurts knowing that someone wants to live so badly and can't and didn't, broke me in a way there are no words. I got a Reiki session done a few months ago, and the Reiki master told me that when someone dies, a part of us dies. And this might seem dismissive, might seem weird to say to someone that lost a loved one, but to me it made complete sense. Because he didn't have to tell me what it was, because I knew exactly what it was that left me that day. Because he said that person represented something within you that has to die, that has to leave. That's what they say. So for me, it was fear. Because she lived her life in fear. Fear and resent, which is one of the lower emotions, right? And I'm not trying to, that wasn't my entire sister's life or anything like that. But the major emotions that I could think of there, that I knew instinctively in my guts. And it made sense because after that, I had to release all this fear. I had to release all this resentment. I had to release all this trauma. You see, I grew up in a very dysfunctional family with a lot of trauma, inherited trauma. My mom went through a civil war and all the traumatic events and genetic changes that come from that. And then before that, the colonization of our countries and the Native Americans being slaughtered and all this other stuff. So there's a lot of genetic, generational trauma apart from everything else. So I've had to contend with that. I've had to confront it, confront my own weakness. Because I could say, my family went through all this, I went through all this, but no, I don't want to make excuses. Those things are hard, they're terrible, they should be acknowledged, they should be confronted. But that's not going to stop me. That's not going to stop me from living my life to my fullest. That's not going to be the reason why I say I'm not living to my potential. I refuse. And when my sister passed away, it took me a while to release all that. It took me a long time. At least for me, it felt like a long time. About a year and a half, 2 years to come online. Because after her death, I went through a really difficult time. I was drinking. I was drinking almost every day. My ex-girlfriend at the time, she had no idea. I was hiding this from everyone. People that know me, that love me, family, they don't know this. This is something that I've never discussed with them. But I was drinking every day. I was hiding the wine bottle. I was drinking beer. I was bringing things home. I had to numb it. I had to numb that pain somehow. And anxiety, a deep, deep anxiety. So that's how my journey started. It came from a place of deep, deep pain. And a lot of people might see that and think it's so low vibe, it's not ideal, but honestly, sometimes we need that to drive us to be better. Sometimes we need that to drive us to be better because I've lived with a lot of regret regarding my sister. I never did anything that bad to her. We had a decent relationship. But there are things I wish I could have done better. A lot of things. But I wasn't that man yet. I wasn't grown up yet. I wasn't mature enough to see those things. I I hadn't healed myself enough to put someone else before me. And it's something that pains my heart. It's something very difficult. And I understand, logically, I understand, like, this is me going through grieving and wanting to do better. And it's very normal. It's a process, all this stuff. I know. I know this is just me going through that. But it doesn't make it any less real for me. It doesn't make it any less true for me. Because I really wish I could have been the man then that I am now. Things would be different. Things would have been different. But guess what? That fuels me. It fuels me to push harder, to be better, to be that man. And now I can say, I am that man and I'm becoming better. Better every day, 1%. Kaizen. I am being better. I know this is a heavier video, at least from me. But today I feel it very heavily in my heart. And if any of you are into astrology, I'm into astrology, nothing super in-depth. I would have been embarrassed to say that because as a masculine dude being into astrology and all this stuff. But I don't care. I don't give a shit. I find it fascinating. I think a lot of people misunderstand it. But today is a new moon in Scorpio. And I don't know if it's just because it got in my head. I don't follow this religiously or anything. Sometimes someone reminds me or it pops up because of the algorithm or something like that. But it really is dealing with deep emotions. Scorpio is looking at the things we tend to ignore, and honestly, that pain is something that I don't really confront or sit in. And today I'm sitting in it, and I'm honoring it. I'm remembering my sister. I'm remembering, and of course, feeling that regret. I don't usually feel that, but I'm being real. The thing is, that regret fuels me. It pushes me to be better, pushes me to be stronger, pushes me to be more compassionate and loving. And when my mom makes me angry, or my sister, or my brother, my family, my friends, whoever it is, I'm able to take a step back. I'm not saying I don't feel emotions, but rather I'm able to take a step back, not take it so personally, and behave in the best way that I can. Deal with it in the best way that I can. And I miss my sister. It's funny, like, I lost my sister and then I had a major breakup with someone that I was with for a long time. It all happened at once for me. But it's the best thing that could have happened because now I'm awake. I'm conscious. I had to really confront it. I was like, I can't sink. I refuse to sink. I refuse to become an alcoholic. I refuse to numb myself. I refuse to give up on living because I almost wanted to give up. But I was like, how can I do that? How can I do that? My sister would not want that. And I know that's placing responsibility on someone else and all this stuff, but sometimes we need that. We need that push to get to this point where now it comes from a place of self-love. When I go to the gym and work out, I try to focus. I'm like, because I love my body, I am doing this. Because I want to treat myself right. And I want to look good. And I want to feel good. And I want to be strong. Because I love myself. But sometimes we have to start down here. Sometimes we have to start with my sister wouldn't want this. She would want me to live. I'm doing it for those who can't. Because she wanted to so badly. She didn't have a chance to. And now I'm going to take that and live to the fullest. I'm going to take that and heal all that hurt her, that hurt me, that hurt my siblings, that hurt my family. I'm going to take that. I'm going to break those chains. Sometimes it takes that. So it's okay if you have to take something so negative, so hard. That energy can be transformed and it's so powerful. And then we can come from a place of love. So right now, who are you doing it for? What are you doing it for? I can say I'm doing it for those who can't. Because there are a lot. There are many people that can't right now. And I know my sister would be happy with this. I know she is. And it hurts because I wish she was here. I wish she was here. But she is in a way. She is. She is. She is. It's just, I wish I could talk to her one more time. So let's take that pain and transform it into something powerful and become that type of man, that type of woman. Can become a beautiful story. I do it for myself. I do it for my family. I do it for my lineage, my ancestors, my future children, my future wife. And I do it for you, Sarah. I do it for you. So take that time and contemplate this. Take that energy to process. And if there's something you have heavy on your heart, it can become something better, something greater. Believe me. That's it for this video. Catch you in the next one.